And we are live.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Florida Moto Talk number 2. No one asked for it, but we're doing it again anyway. So it's me and my buddy John here. We talk some racing news, whatever's going on out there, and we got some more bike deals to evaluate and try to see who found something better this week, and hopefully get some people on bikes and some bikes sold. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing pretty good, man. And don't roast me too bad for this episode. I'm getting over a pretty bad flu or a cold or something. So part of my raspy voice, but we'll try to get through it, man. But happy to be back. Episode 2.
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
get
be
it.
okay.
Yeah,
It might be a little bit of a shorter episode, but yeah, we'll get there. And then you're trying to get on a bike and ride tomorrow to get ready for the Jennings Classic, so good luck with that.
Yeah, man. I've been out of work a couple days this week, and then just today I got out of bed. Like I said, I don't know what if I got COVID or super flu or what, man, but I just been stuck in the bed and started moving around today, and then yeah, first thing tomorrow, headed to Jennings first thing in the morning to hop on a brand new bike for the upcoming endurance races at Jennings, the Soprano races. We're gonna do 2 of the 4-hour races. I ended up getting organized with a couple buddies of mine, and we're gonna be running a Ninja 400 Superbike. And tomorrow's just gonna be the meet and greet, and then the test and tune, and we're gonna be working on a lot of things, a whole lot of moving parts, and hopefully, we can get our stuff together and get it rolling, and hopefully I don't have a heat stroke or something while I'm riding the bike. I mean, I can at least move around now, so I hope by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning when we hit the track, we should be good to go.
Yeah, getting early night tonight. Well, and hopefully next year, I'm hitting the track a lot this year. I'll have some lap times and some consistency under me, and hopefully I'll be doing that with you next year.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. I mean, the endurance racing it's so popular right now. It is so crazy because you wouldn't expect that endurance racing would be the thing that everybody's kind of flocking to. I mean, who wants to be on a bike for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, right? It sounds terrible, but at the end of the day, racers just want seat time. So if you're trying to get seat time and you're trying to
Yeah,
get comfortable on your bike and comfy with your team, there's nothing better. I mean, you just get on the bike and you just go till you can't go no more. Then you switch out, let somebody else go
yeah,
till they can't go anymore.
yeah. Ride through
So
the problems, ride through whatever's going on. Yeah. No, that definitely sounds. I don't know. It doesn't sound too awful to me, but I haven't done it yet, so you know, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to get on that track bike for 45 minutes or an hour.
yeah, and I started racing Wira this year on my Ninja baby back here, and I only did the sprint races, but even doing a sprint race over a few laps, I mean you're wore out because you're going hard. I mean you're pushing, you're going hard for those 4 or 5 laps, whatever it is, it changes. But at the end of that, I'm tired, so I'm in pretty good shape, but I don't know how my body's going to react riding a bike in the endurance race. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I mean, I think it's just going to be, like doing a triathlon or something, where it's all mental, right? It's probably more mental than anything. If you can get in your mind that you're going to do it
Yeah,
and you're not going to quit, I think that's how all the pros get through it.
yeah. And to be fair, you're in pretty good shape. You do. I see the medals and stuff. You do triathlons and crap
Yeah,
like
man,
that.
those are a couple, man.
You even had the nerve to suggest that I should start jogging or something last time we were at Jennings. It's absolutely
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
just a suggestion, just a suggestion. I mean, I hear it's good for you. I don't know. People tell me it's good for you, but hey, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. So we were last week. We talked about Mark Marquez and the MotoGP situation. So that's the big switch up there. You've also got Marini going to Honda and stuff like that. But the big news is Marquez. A lot of the other stuff is staying kind of status quo. But over in World Superbike, I don't know, everything went a little crazy this off season. Went from, well, I guess during silly season before the end of the year. So we went from Toprak being rumored to a Yamaha MotoGP ride to all of a sudden announcing he's leaving the bike he won the 2022 World Championship on and going to BMW. Who've had their struggles, I guess. I mean, Scott Redding's had some moderate but inconsistent success. Gerloff is picking it up at the end of last year. We'll see if he can continue that in the next year. But so Toprak going to BMW, and then Ray going to Yamaha, hopping on Toprak's old bike. So I know we kind of touched on this a little bit at Jennings a few weeks ago, but I think we both kind of feel like Ray is not going to find anything on the Yamaha that Toprak couldn't find. Like we're both pretty sure that Toprak maxed that bike out, and that's why he hopped ship. I mean, especially if, to go to BMW, who does not have a MotoGP bike, so then that kind of closes that door. I think Toprak's pretty confident he wore that Yamaha out, and there's nothing left to give if he hopped over it.
Yeah, I mean, you just love opening up these can of worms, man, because we're gonna need like another 2 more hours to unpack all that. But man, so many thoughts about everything you just said. I mean, where to even begin? Like, so when when it was first announced that Toprak was leaving Yamaha, I was like, first of all, I was like, there's no way that they would even let him leave, right? I mean, they would give him whatever he wanted if he had wanted to stay with Yamaha. I mean, any dollar amount, whatever. I mean, outside of Batista, and we know about that relationship with him and the Ducati, but outside of that union with Bautista and the Ducati, it's Toprak on that Yamaha. I mean, if you're a World Superbike team, you want Toprak.
Yeah.
Period. Right? I mean, period. His talent, it's absolutely ridiculous. So when he was leaving, I was like, man, how's it possible that they wouldn't have come to an agreement? Because that's usually the first thing. When somebody leaves, it's like, well, we can't agree on this or we can't agree on that, or they're not giving me something I wanted, which I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Yeah.
Right? And then I was like, but then they're letting him go. So to replace him, you would have to either bring down somebody from MotoGP, which was what I was thinking. I was thinking that Morbidelli was going to drop down, right? I had there's no way we could have foreseen, that he was going to go to Pramac, right? So I was thinking if they're letting Toprak go, I'm like, there's got to be a superstar that was coming. Lo and behold, I also never thought it would be freaking I never thought it would be Ray, right? I never in a million years thought that it would be Ray taking Toprak's spot. I'm like, okay, wow, okay, well now it makes sense then. Now it makes sense. And then Toprak going to the BMW, I think the BMW is a good bike, but BMW is still in that stage where they're building. I also agree with you that Toprak on the Yamaha, and we've seen him do it all season trying to catch Bautista, but if you want to see what a masterclass on a bike looks like, and you want to see what it looks like for somebody to push a bike to its absolute mechanical limit, watch Toprak on the R1, because that's what it looks like. It's poetry in motion. He's like, and we said Marquez does it too in the last episode, but he's another person that bends the bike to his will. But we clearly see that he got that R1 to the point where it can no longer do what Toprak is needing it to do, right? And then he's finishing races, like beating up the bike and everything else, because I mean the bike's not giving him what he needs. He's putting more into the bike, and that is something that is just it's so rare to see. You don't see that. Just so everybody just understand how rare that is. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch any highlight video from the 2023 season with Toprak, and you'll see exactly what I mean. But can he get more potential out of the BMW? Man, that's hard to say, right? That's really hard to say because, like I said, I think it has the potential, but they're still in like a building and development phase. So I don't know if Toprak's going to be the one to help develop that bike and help build it. You know, he's going to get on that bike and he's going to ride it. And he's going to ride the heck out of it. But I don't know that he's going to help so much with the development. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't really know his history for developing a bike because he kind of, geez. So I went, I had a few years there where I wasn't really keeping track of things. And I think I misspoke earlier. Toprak won the 2021 World Championship, not the 2022. Because I've been watching old highlight videos of World Superbike seasons, and Toprak was on a Kawasaki for a little while, it looks like. So I don't know how much he developed that bike, or if he just kind of took something that was already there and just rode the crap out of it. Like Johnny Ray, I don't think he's much of a development rider. He was on the Honda forever with limited success. And then after Kawasaki had already won 2 world championships with Sykes, then Ray got on the Kawasaki and then he won, 6 championships in a row. So Ray seemed to take a good bike and then just be the better rider. So I don't know. I don't think Toprak's tested yet in development. I don't know if Bautista's tested yet in development either, but lucky for Bautista, he doesn't have to be. So this year's going to be interesting. I think I'm a big fan of Scott Redding as a rider, but I get the feeling there's been some untapped potential in the BMW, and I bet BMW threw an insane amount of money at Toprak to try to see what that potential could be.
Yeah, I mean, BMW has the money. The money's not the problem. They just got to get the right riders on the bike. And I mean, with Toprak, hey, no more excuses now. I mean, he's got the ability.
Yeah.
So now it's on the factory. Like I said, we don't know if he can develop, but it's still going to be on them to give him whatever he needs. And man, it's so hard to call that one. I mean, it's Toprak, so I mean, I'm more inclined to say that he's going to rock it. I mean, is he going to beat Bautista? I still don't see that happening, at least for another season or two. But he's going to be there, or he's going to be there about. Would be my prediction for sure.
Yeah,
ahead of Johnny Ray for
sure.
I mean, coming full circle, yeah, I think he's going to be faster than Johnny Ray is on the Yamaha for sure. As my opinion.
I mean, Ray is I think Ray is sunsetting his career. Like we forget how long he's been doing this. I mean, I think he started in World Superbike in like 2006, maybe 2007. So he's been doing this a long time. And I felt bad for him in the past. That Honda was slowly dragging him down, and then he got on Kawasaki, and man, he made the most of that. But I don't think he's going to pull anything out of that Yamaha that we have not already seen. So I think this is going to be Bautista and Toprak this year, and it's cool because it's the battle of the two manufacturers who put the most effort into making homologation specials. So you've got the Panigale V4R street bike that they designed specifically to use that technology and that motor and stuff in the race bike, and then the BMW with the M1000R as opposed to just the S1000R. Both companies put a lot of effort into trying to bolster that race program. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. I think I might have to buy the World Superbike Pass this year instead of just watching highlights and stuff.
Yeah, you got to watch them. I have the MotoGP video pass, World Superbike video pass, man. I don't miss anything. It's too good. Too good.
Yeah.
And one more person to watch out for too, not to take up too much time on this because we got to get into these used bikes. But another guy to keep an eye on, Axel Bassani, man. He was killing it on the V4R, and he's swapping to the factory Cowie team now. So I'm going to be watching him very closely because I feel like I mean, he's knocking on the door. I feel like he's going to be a superstar in the making. I don't know if the Cowie's going to be the best bike for him this season, but I mean, I think he's still going to be relevant and he's going to keep moving up. So he's once again another one. He's going to be there or there's about. I'll be watching him closely.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a good year for racing, just in general.
Absolutely. All right. Like I said, we can talk about this motorcycle stuff all day, but you want to try and talk about these used bikes that we have here?
Yeah, we got to get you off to bed so you don't fall asleep on the bike tomorrow.
I know, man.
So I went first last time, so I think it's your turn.
All right. Let's see what I got. Give me 1 sec. Get my screen pulled up. All right. Are you tracking that? You see that?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I think that's.
Let me switch it over. There we go.
There we
go. Got a little ahead of myself. All right. Still not showing on my screen. Are you seeing the Ninja?
I am not yet.
Hang on.
It's episode 2. We're still getting our shit together.
Yeah, but we'll get there. Just gotta have faith. All right. Clicked on my wrong tab. All right, now that we got that squared away. So for this go around, after searching the deepest crevasses of the internet, I was able to find this 2021 Kawasaki Ninja 400. This one was a hard find for me. And like we touched on earlier, doing the endurance racing later this month over at Jennings, and we're going to be doing it on a Ninja 400. So I was like, well, let me find a Ninja 400 that we can try to share and try to get somebody on. But I chose this bike for a lot of different reasons. But first of all, it's an excellent beginner bike. So for anybody that's watching, that's looking for a bike to get into, you've come to the perfect place, by the way. But if you're looking for a bike to get into for your first bike, even if you're a veteran track day rider, veteran street guy, these bikes are just good all around. I like to find these bikes that are just good packages. And if you're the new guy that's getting into a new bike, don't do what I did, which is save up a little bit of money and then go to the dealership. Don't spend any of that money you saved up and then just finance a brand new Ninja 636. Well, it was a ZX6R at the time, so it was pretty much the worst year for the Kawasaki Ninja. Which ended up being like, it was my first sport bike. It was a great bike, but probably 3 days down the road, I crashed it. And then another week after that, I crashed it again. And yeah, the thing was 10 grand out the door. Ridiculous. If you're buying your first bike, don't do that. Save up, put a bit of money, and then come see us or hop on Marketplace and then find a bike that's in your price range. This bike right here is going to be, I feel like it's attainable for most people if you're able to just save up money periodically. It might take you a little bit longer, but the prices for these bikes can be crazy if you want to get the ones that are the race bikes and they're all done up and everything. But for the street version, something that's basic, mostly stock, you can get away with it for a couple $1,000s. This bike is going to be reliable. It's it's a smaller motor, 399cc, parallel twin actually, with 28 foot-pounds of torque and then 49 horsepower. So you're hearing these numbers, you're thinking, well, it's not a lot. Well, it's a good beginner bike. It's not going to be a lot. But at the same time, don't hate on these bikes, because if you watch motorcycle racing and you look at Moto America Junior Cup class, they're running these bikes.
Yeah.
And they're running them, man, they are running the doors. They're running the balls off of these bikes. Now, obviously, they have like the full-blown race bikes or whatever, but, same bike, same guts. I mean, it's a capable bike, and you're seeing
Yeah.
a lot of long-time track day guys, and you're seeing a lot of racers too go downgrade from 600s, from 1000s, from 750s to 400s, just because
Hmm.
they're seeing just what they're capable of. I mean, it's a great bike to learn on, all the way up to a great track bike and a race bike if you build it that way. It's a very capable bike. Comes with all the standard bells and whistles that you're going to get on any modern bike. It comes with ABS option. I don't know that this one has an ABS option because the seller didn't mention it, but we're just we're going to assume that it doesn't. And
Yeah, it
as you
doesn't
can
look
see, it's
like the rotors have it.
yeah, but save a little bit of money. I mean, ABS is it's a good thing to have if you're learning, but you can be pretty much just as safe without it. I learned without it. I know plenty of people that learned without it, but it's a good tool to have on the street in case you find yourself in an emergency situation like that. But there's no substitute for just practice and learning that brake control, right? But real good bike for the street as well, for the beginner on the street. It's going to be a perfect commuter bike. It's going to get great gas mileage. It's going to be reliable. It's a Kawasaki, small cylinder engine, doesn't rev very high at all. I think that 49 horsepower was the peak horsepower at 10,000 RPM, which isn't crazy at all. So you can get on this bike, you can ride it. You're not going to pay anything for gas. You can commute, do whatever you need to do. It's going to do it for you. So very very good bike, especially if you're a beginner. But if you're a track guy, you want to run these on the track too. You want to build it out. Perfect platform to start with. Now the price. This one is up in northern Georgia, which I imagine is pretty cold up there right now. I'm up in northern Florida. We
Yeah.
had a warm day today. It was freaking 68 degrees today. Uh, but they're asking $4,000 with 1,200 miles, or 12,000 miles. Sorry. Which for these bikes, I mean, if it's been maintained, 12,000 miles is not a lot. That wouldn't concern me very much. $4,000 wouldn't concern me either. I feel like that's a great price. However, once again, I've never paid asking price when I showed up
Yeah.
to get a bike. So when you're looking these bikes over, oh, we didn't even go through the pics. Sorry, guys. So when I'm looking at these images on the marketplace, looking at the ads, I always like to just try to see as much about the bike as I can, because I mean the pictures would tell you a lot of things, especially a lot of things that the sellers are trying to hide, or things that might decrease the value of the bike. So always look over the images. These are okay images. I'd like to have a lot more. So if I spoke to the seller, I'd definitely tell him to send me some more pictures. Let me get a video of this thing running. But just from what I can see at the first appearance, excuse me, it doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, I'm coughing my lungs out over here. Um, yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. I mean, it looks like it's been ridden on the street. Doesn't look like it's been dropped. Doesn't look like really anything's been replaced. Leo vents exhaust. Um, with these, you get that real nice seating position too. You get the upright handlebars.
Hmm.
Your back will be nice and straight. I mean, you can ride this bike for days at a time. But said, looking at this, I don't really see anything that's concerning. So yeah, reach out to the seller. Hey, send me some more pictures. Let me send the video. Uh, has the bike been down? Does it need anything? Is always one of the first questions that I ask him. Does the bike need anything at all? And I'll tell them I'm interested, just so they're honest with me. I mean, and I'm not lying about that. I want them to know that I'm interested in the bike. So you don't have to try to lie and conceal something about the bike. Just I'm interested in the bike. I want it. Just if there's something wrong with it, just tell me what it is, okay? So that I can see how much it costs, and then we can negotiate the price further. But assuming that there's nothing wrong with this bike, yeah, I'd probably offer 38, probably about 36 cash, and I feel like that'd be a solid deal. I mean, even the 4K, I'd even pay 4K for it. I mean, it's a clean bike. I'd
Hmm.
still pay the 4K, but
Yeah.
if you're buying and selling these used bikes, you got to negotiate. I mean, money's money, man. Money's tight now for everybody, but yeah, about 38, 36. I'd be really, really happy you spending that much on this bike.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's
I mean, that looks
that's
like
all I got.
12,000 miles on a 2021. That was used as a commuter for sure. So typically, someone who's commuting has actually done their research and takes care of it a little bit better than, not everyone, but sometimes these guys who just use it as a weekend toy, they kind of feel like, oh, I barely ride it, so it's okay to neglect things. So
Yeah,
it's
dude.
12,000 miles doesn't scare me at all on that.
Yeah, me neither. I'd ride the crap out of that thing. I mean, like I said, you got a perfect base for a track bike or whatever you need.
Yeah.
All right.
You caught me off guard last week with what do you look for in a used bike? And so I've thought of a few more things. And one of my coworkers just bought as his first motorcycle a 2012 R1, uh, which is an awful idea, in my opinion. But beyond that, so he had me look at the bike, and major red flags to me, those weird Rizoma mirrors, those little thin ones that you can't see anything in the back. They just exist to be aerodynamic and street legal. This bike
Yeah.
has those, lowering linkage, GoPro sticky pads everywhere, and is GP shift, even though it's never been taken to the track. That thing has been drag raced up and down I-75 100%. That thing has been at top speed for extended periods of time. That sort of
It's
stuff I
probably
look
like
out for.
it's probably like
Like,
3 or 4 videos of that thing crashing on YouTube.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That thing's been pegged out at 180 for 20 straight miles down I-75 for sure. So yeah, GoPro stickies on a non-track bike, and Rizoma mirrors. I think it's Rizoma is the brand. Those mirrors, man, they're completely useless. That is a red flag to me. I'm judgmental about the stuff you put on your bike. I feel like it does tell you stuff about how it's been used, and I don't know what the intentions were.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between let's see, what's the politically correct way to say this? Uh I mean, or we can just say it. There's definitely a difference between squid riding and then like
Yeah,
tasteful mods. Right.
yeah, yeah. So that Ninja
Exactly.
that had original mirrors, original turn signals, like that stuff I like. Like those flush mounts on that were original, but on a bike that doesn't come with flush mounts, when I see those, sometimes I wonder. But anyway, we should hop into mine because we're going a little long.
Yes, let me get you pulled up.
So I changed my tag title this time to "Might Be Addicted to Twins" because I ride a Ducati. Last week I did a Aprilia, which was a V twin, and this week I was going to do another twin. So I decided to change it up and go with a 4-cylinder because I don't want to get a pigeonholed as the twin guy. And I was actually going to do a Ninja 300, but it sold. So I found another one. So I went the opposite direction. Well, not the opposite, but kind of like I said last week, I'm going to be looking predominantly at track bikes or bikes that would be good to convert to the track. So I found this 2007 CBR 600RR, just under 11,000 miles, with a title, which is not necessarily common for track bikes. I mean, the laundry list on this thing is ridiculous. So I'm just going to pull out like a couple highlights here. It's got a ECU flash. It's got Bazaz with traction control, quick shift, fuel mappings, a traction control adjustment dial. Suspension's all done. Penske fork internals up front, rear shock in the back, which I think Penske is probably as far as I'd ever go with any of my bikes. I don't think I'll ever be good enough to require Olin's Gold as much as I love it. It's got a slipper clutch on it. Galfer rotors and lines, Woodcraft rear sets, quick throttle, exhaust, steering damper. I mean, the thing's just, everything is done. I can't think of anything that I would be adding to this personally. So did some reading. The 2007 was a big redesign for the CBR 600. They pulled, looks like they pulled 25 pounds off of that bike from the 2003 model. So 2005, they got 9 pounds off. And then 2007, they took another 16 pounds off the bike OEM. And most of that was motor and frame. So all of those weight savings are still in that bike there. We actually had a buddy up in Tallahassee who had a 2007 CBR, and I rode that bike quite a few times, and all I have are fond memories of that thing. And I never touched suspension or anything. I just had it the way he had it. And I remember really liking that bike. I'm also a sucker for underseat exhausts. So CBR 600 is actually what I thought I was going to get before I ended up getting the, my dream bike, the Ducati. So I definitely always have an ear to the ground for the CBR 6. I believe this one is in North Carolina. Probably past the limit of where I'd go pick it up myself. But again, bike shipping services are actually like crazy cheap. I think you can get a bike transported from North Carolina for around $400-$500. And I mean, this thing, I think he says tires have 1 track day on them, oil change is 1 track day on it, comes with another set of bodywork. So this thing, you can roll it off the transport truck onto your own trailer and go straight to the track.
Very nice. Yeah, the CBRs are time tested, just solid bikes, the CBR 600s. And I actually had this same year, I think it was back in probably 2015, a little while ago, but I bought a used one. It was high mileage, had 20K miles on it, and I got that thing for a steal. I got it for $2,300 and put another 10K on it. It purred the entire time. It was just a comfortable bike,
Yeah.
not too much power. It's reserved. I mean, those are good bikes to learn on too, by the way. It's just a good bike for just like the Ninja 400, a good bike for a bunch of different skill levels. It's a good bike to grow into. It's also a good bike to take racing. Like this one's all set up. I mean, this bike doesn't need a single thing. If you're looking into racing or doing track days, this bike is probably more than any of us would need.
One of the comments on the posting was, I guess, a previous owner of this bike who said he won a couple amateur and national championships on it. So it's already a championship winning bike. That bike's a heck of a lot better than me. I know that much. I think just about anyone could grow into this thing. I don't even know if I mentioned the slipper clutch. I mean, this thing's it's done. There's nothing left to do.
Yeah, it's done. Full suspension. Yeah, so if anybody's looking for a track bike, man, reach out to this guy. Great price.
Yeah, and if you don't hurry up, I might get it first.
Yeah, and even with the distance, I'd say nowadays, if you're looking to get a good deal on a bike, just expect to travel at least a couple hours. I mean, even in my experience, it's rare that I find a bike in my hometown. I actually can't recall ever finding a bike in my hometown that was used. But yeah, just expect to travel for a good deal. Don't be afraid to look, outside of your state. Look at the next state over. But you're going to be doing at least some kind of travel to get the best deal. But North Carolina, yeah, I'd have to work something out to go get this one. That's a steal.
Yeah, a little bit of a. And it's not even the travel distance is the problem. It's the time commitment to get up there and get back. So I definitely have to have it shipped. But there's so many services out there that do that stuff now.
Yeah, and the seller might even meet you halfway. Shoot, that'd save you some time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, the track day community, track riders, racers, all that stuff. It's like a whole different breed. It always blows my mind how much people are willing to help everyone else out. You know, trailering bikes to the racetrack for other people, or meeting people halfway on sales and stuff. Like it's a community that is not afraid to travel. That is for sure.
Yeah, it's so weird. And I've done many sports and many types of competition, but with motorcycle racing and then just doing track days, anytime I've been to a race or a track day, been to the track at all, I've always met somebody that was like super cool and just down to help me out with whatever issue I was dealing with that day. So I can definitely
Yeah,
attest to that. It's very true. The community is it's a very open. It seems like it's a tight knit community, and it is, but it's a very open community. I mean, nobody's getting excluded out of this community if they want to come and be a part of it. And
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that's why we're up here sharing bikes, because we want to grow this community. We want to get people on bikes. I mean, we both love bikes, and we want to share that with everybody else. So here we are with these deals. Do you have anything else for this bike?
No,
Or you
no.
good on this one? Sweet.
I think I'm good on that. So now it's up to
Cool.
the viewers to let us know which one they want, and
Yeah, make sure
we'll
y'all get in the
post
comments.
links. Um, I don't know if we ever posted both bikes last time. I did post the Aprilia in the comments.
Oh,
Um,
did I forget to do that? I forget to post the Triumph. I'll go do that right
I
now.
think,
Whoops.
but yeah, I mean, it may not even be for sale anymore. As far as I know, the Aprilia is still up there. I think I checked yesterday. So
Sweet.
I'm always watching like 6 or 7 bikes. So
Well, yeah, I'll drop that link, and then we'll drop the links for these in the comments. And don't forget, let us know who had the best deal. If you're working on selling a bike too, just shoot us an email, post in the comments, and if it's a good deal, we can feature you on one of the episodes. But that's all I got. You got anything else, Tristan?
no, I think that'll do it. You need to get some rest and ride safe tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to bed, and then we'll be on track. And I'm gonna try to get the camera, get the GoPro out, so to film a little bit of that, so we can share with everybody too. But yeah, man, it's been fun talking to you and sharing these deals. So I will see you next time.
All right, have a good one.
You too, man.